People say I'm anti-Donald Trump. I really don't think I'm anti-Donald Trump. And as time goes on, and as his administration goes on, you're going to find out I'm not anti-Donald Trump. Every time he does something positive, I'm going to pound on it.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had.
Here's a little advice for Donald Trump, not from me, but from Dave Chappelle, one of America's top comedians. It's comedic, but it's telling. And I think that Donald Trump I watch from a distance may like this.
The presidency is no place for petty people. So Donald Trump, I know you watch the show. Man, remember, whether people voted for you or not, they're all counting on you. Whether they like you or not, they're all counting on you. The whole world is counting on you. And I mean this when I say this. Good luck. Please do better next time. Please, all of us, do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
I'm not anti-Donald Trump presidency because Donald Trump has some good programs that he wants to introduce that will benefit America. When those programs are pursued, I'm going to be Donald Trump's biggest cheerleader. But on the things that he's doing that I'm not crazy about, I really don't need to talk about it. I have enough material from third party, many of them credible third party, to just share so that you could make up your mind what you think or what you don't think. But on this one, I'm going to start out with something Donald Trump and his supporters are against that I think many of us are also against. So I'm applauding Donald Trump's policy on this, and it's been addressed by Candace Owens, who is a black Trump supporter and very loud about her support for Trump. Many things she says are crazy. This one makes sense to me.
If you say to me you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the truth.
Your beliefs.
It's not my belief. A woman cannot be a man, and a man cannot be a woman. I believe there is objective truth. Okay?
Okay.
A person that is born a man, okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it, okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth. You cannot feel compassion for lies, especially because they have become what they're doing now is they're wielding compassion as a sword to pass through everything that they want done. And like I said, you are going to blink, and compassion is going to end up with minor attracted peoples. Compassion is going to mean we can no longer call them pedophiles. That is what is going to happen. It is what is happening.
Can't let that happen.
We are barreling toward that. They would rather tell a lie than risk offending someone.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had.
I really think of home, yeah, I really do. But more importantly, I just want to start out with a little understanding with everybody. I have a lot of people who view my bold talk, and they really are supportive of what I'm doing. but I know they also caution me. And now it's a double caution. They cautioned me about my commentaries on Nigeria. Now they are cautioning me about my commentaries on the young Donald Trump presidency that's barely a week old. I understand those cautions, and I've made my concession. I am going to be very selective about the words I use when I make any commentary regarding Donald Trump's America. I hope people understand that I'm guided by my style. If I change that style, it takes away from my delivery and I lose viewership. It's been tested. However, I'm not saying it to sound sensational. All I can promise you is that my commentary is going to be based on facts. There'll be no fake news. There'll be nothing I'll lose in court if I go to court with whoever is upset about what I said. I'm going to present facts. The reason people are uncomfortable is that many people know what the facts are, but just to be on the safe side, they don't want to say anything. I respect that. But if we all don't say anything, what does it leave us? Where are these politicians going to take us?
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born.
Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Gwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. Now, enough of President Trump. We may go back to him. But let's face what's going on in Nigeria. As you guys know, I'm passionate about Dele Farotimi. To me, Dele Farotimi, history is going to very likely list him as one of the top 5 Yoruba people who lived during his lifetime. The reason is that Dele Farotimi is a Nigerian. He's not a Yoruba man. It doesn't mean he's not for Oduduwa state and all that. But until we get to Oduduwa state, we are Nigerians. Take it the way it is. That's what we are, Nigerians. And Dele Farotimi has steadfastly fought for equity, justice, and fairness in Nigeria. And we all know what happened in December. And the reason I'm so blunt when I talk about issues that concern Nigeria is that I'm sick and tired of a people who just like to take important topics and sweep it under the rug, either because it benefits their tribe, or it benefits their pocket, or they are scared of going to jail, or they are scared of offending somebody. To hell with all those people who are going to be offended. A man in Ekiti who is acclaimed for being the most powerful man in Ekiti. I call him the most corrupt man in Ekiti and probably the most corrupt person that ever practiced law in Nigeria. Afe Babalola sent out an irresponsible IG of police in Ekiti who instructed some of his men, police officer, to go to Lagos and arrest Dele Farotimi for what? For defamation. You don't throw people in jail for defamation. You take them to court. Dele Farotimi, I know you know this background, some of you, but some don't. Dele Farotimi spent 21 days in a stinky Ekiti jail for an offense he did not commit, for telling the truth, for bringing to the attention of Nigeria the atrocities that Afe Babalola has been committing. As a matter of fact, now that the facts are clear, maybe the right thing for the Nigerian justice system to do, and EFCC and everybody involved who can investigate it, is to go and investigate every case Afe Babalola has been involved in Nigeria over the last 60 years. Because there is a good possibility that if you go and investigate those cases, many people he found that were found guilty based on his involvement in that case may have reparations coming to them, because Afe Babalola and his negative, corrupt influence on the justice system must have found them guilty for offenses they did not commit. And before you say you want to charge me for defamation of character, do not charge me for defamation until you do what I say, which is open every case that Afe Babalola has been involved in Nigeria in 60 years of his law practice or longer. He's 95 years old. I respect elders. I love elders. There are a lot of elders in my life, and I respect them because they are respectable elders. I don't respect crooks. And the slew of sons, senior advocates of Nigeria, that lined up behind Afe Babalola to persecute Dele Farotimi. It's a shame what Nigeria has turned SAN into. And maybe it's time to actually investigate every person who has that designation, SAN, in Nigeria, and see how many of them earned it. And how many good lawyers are practicing that don't have the dirty, corrupt connections and have not been made SANs. Because the SANs like Afe Babalola are the ones who control the process for everything law in Nigeria. The Ooni of Ife last weekend had a meeting with Afe Babalola and convinced him to withdraw the case against Dele Farotimi. And I bet you some people are going to him and say, Elesa, Eshisa, Elesa, 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 my foot. Afe Babalola did not have a case in the first place. It was only going to be a matter of time before Dele Farotimi, even in that corrupt justice system in Nigeria, destroyed him in court. I've heard all kinds of stories about how humanitarian he is, how nice he is, how he helps people. He helps people with their money that he earned illegally. And Nigerians are good at worshiping crooks. On the mandate of crooks, you stand. It's time for Nigerians to have the guts, like Dele Farotimi and Omoyele Sowore, which I'm coming to his own case later, and Rufai Oseni, and many like them. I can even go down to Ayo Eshe on Arise TV, a young rising star, Oji Okbe. There are quite a few of them. Kenneth Okonkwo, even though he goofed up with Peter Obi's, now you see him, now you don't. He's a very straight shooting guy. These are people you could believe who would tell you what is going on in Nigeria exactly how it is. So now Afe Babalola has forgiven. Who the hell is he to forgive Dele Farotimi? That's why I'm so happy that Dele Farotimi said from day one, do not go to beg him on my behalf. Beg him for what? For being crooked and messing up the judicial system? It's people like him who gave Bola Ahmed Tinubu the impetus to think he could bribe the Supreme Court and everybody involved to steal a presidency he did not win. Thank God somebody, I don't give a damn who it is, somebody finally put some sense into the 96-year-old crook to tell him that you're going the wrong direction. You're not going to win. He didn't forgive Dele Farotimi. He saved himself an embarrassment of what the case would have ended up, an embarrassment and a damned egg in his face. Now let's go to Omoyele Sowore. I've never said this on Island TV. I've said it privately to people. The Omoyele Sowore stuff is very personal to me. I have a sister that I lost in 2019. It's still in my phone. The message is still in my phone. The final message I exchanged with her, we were not talking about my family. We were not talking about her nuclear family. We were not talking about my hometown. We were talking about Omoyele Sowore. And because she knew I was very political, she kept calling me to have this conversation. And when we exchanged messages, she said, I don't know why his people are not trying to help to get him out of jail. And I said to my sister, Omoyele Sowore is a straight shooting guy. He doesn't hold back. Probably he has burned a few bridges among the elders. And my sister, by saying his people, she meant Yoruba people. Probably he has burned some bridges among Yoruba elders, and that's why they are not helping him to come out of jail. And my sister's last words to me were, what he's doing is a righteous cause, and they should forget whatever he may have said to them and help him because he's fighting for Nigeria. I paraphrased. Those were my last exchanges with my sister. She died less than 24 hours later. Yesterday, or was it 2 days ago or more, Yele Sowore was invited to the police in by the police in Abuja to answer a stupid case about a video he produced of corrupt police officers in Lagos trying to extort drivers on the streets. And he refused to pull over, but he videoed the whole incident. And the police that invited him in Abuja called that cyber bullying or whatever. Make a long story short, they wanted Omoyele's passport and they wanted him to get a bail that has to be guaranteed by a civil servant of 17th level, whatever that is, I mean the permanent secretary level, that also has a property in Abuja. And Omoyele Sowore told them he's not going to produce any of those things, and they locked him up again. Nigerians, every Nigerian, every tribe, you may disagree with some of Omoyele Sowore's positions. If you're obedient, you may disagree with him because he doesn't support Peter Obi, who I support. But I'm not against Omoyele, but I support Peter Obi. Don't worry about his politics. Worry about his message. Omoyele Sowore met with Abiola a year or two before Abiola died. And Abiola offered him and his fellow students a significant amount of money to thank them for supporting him. And Omoyele Sowore rejected that money. He supported Abiola, but he rejected the money because he felt that taking that money may put him in a position where if Abiola was not doing the right thing, he wouldn't be able to criticize him. He may dance to a different drummer. Omoyele Sowore dances to a different drummer. But when it comes to Nigerian issues, he dances to the right drum. And just like we fought from all corners for Dele Farotimi, it's time to fight from all corners for Omoyele Sowore. It's time to fight this Nigerian injustice from Asher Rock to Afe Babalola to corrupt IGs of police and all that. It's time for Nigerians to stand up. I say what I say, and I say it loud enough because I'm a 67-year-old man who wants to be home. But I'll be stupid to come home because I know what those idiots may do if I come home. It doesn't make me weak. It just makes me show that I have common sense. But from the distance where I am going to continue to call out the atrocities that starts in Asher Rock and continues with the Afe Babalolas of Nigeria and all those damned cabal-pocketed Igbos that are Igbos when they come out to Igbo meetings and anti-Igbo and for their pockets when they go to where the money is shared without regard for the sufferings of their people. Folks, it's time for all of us to join Dele Farotimi and Omoyele Sowore and Peter Obi and Aisha Yesufu and all the strong voices that are blatantly fighting to stop this corrupt bunch of crooks that run our country from every corner. It's not a Yoruba thing, it's not a Fulani thing, it's everybody. In the southeast, we are fighting to get criminals out of our region, and we know it's being sabotaged by those cabal-pocketed southeasterners. But we must keep fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with an angry edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had. There in my home, we had no sophistication. We had no timepiece, the cockcrow and the sun, all we had. Rise early at sunup, we'd go to the farms, drive the monkeys away from the maize farms, and the birds away from the rice farms. Then I moved into Lagos, where I am right now. Here in Lagos, no one cares for now.